Alright, Chapter 2, Magnetic Tape. Learning objectives. After the completion of the chapter, you'll be able to do the following. Describe the physical properties of magnetic tape in terms of the three basic materials used to make magnetic tape, the function of the magnetic tape, base material, oxide coating, binder glue. Describe the type of the magnetic recording tape. Describe the following type of the tape error with the effect of the magnetic tape recording signal to drop out with noise, skew, and level. Describe the following cup of the magnetic tape with normal wear, accidental damage, environmental damage, winding errors. Describe the purpose of the making of the tape reels and tape cartridges. Describe the two methods of erasing magnetic tape, the characters, the automatic and manual tape, the degaussers, procedures for degaussing magnetic tape. Describe the proper procedure for the handling, storing magnetic tape, and tape reels and tape cartridges. Physical properties for the magnetic tape. The three basic materials used with the magnetic tape: the base material, the coating of the magnetic oxide particles, and three, the glue of the binding the oxide particles down to the base material. See Figure 3.1. Base material glue with the oxide coating, magnetic tape construction, base material, the magnetic tape. Tape is made of either plastic or metal. The plastic tape is used more than the metal tape. The cover is very flexible and resist the mildew. Very stable with a high temperature for the humidity. Oxide coatings for oxide particles that can be magnetized with the coating with the base material. The most common magnetic particles are either gamma ferritic oxide with the carbonium dioxide. Very important that these magnetic properties for the uniform side, if the tape surface will brave the will due to the life of the record. The ideal magnetic particle is in the needle shape of the actual side that depends on the frequency of the signal to be recorded. General long particle with the use to record long wavelength signal, low frequency signals, and short particle with the use to record short wavelength signal, high frequency signals. The glue used to bind the oxide particle with the base of the material usually is an organic resin. It must be strong enough to hold the oxide particle to the base of the material, yet flexible enough not to peel the crack. Type of the magnetic recording tape. There are two basic types of the magnetic recording tape common: either the analog and digital. Analog magnetic tape is used to record, store, or reproduce audio instrumental type signal. For these signals use the frequency band with a very low frequency of 2.5 megahertz. Digital magnetic tape is used to record and store to produce the computer programs of the the base material thickness of about 50% thicker than the analog magnetic tape. This allows the digital tape that would stand the more certainly starts and stops associated with the digital magnetic record, search, and read rate functions. Magnetic tape is also have the more strictly quality control standard. Important not to have any blemish with the coating flaw with the tape of the surface. The loss in one digital bit, your computer program or data would be bad. In contrasting, losing one microsecond of the analog signal is not nearly as critical. Tape errors and their effects. The four type of the tape errors will degrade the performance of the magnetic recording system as the signal dropout noise and skew level of the signal amplitude change for the dropout error. The signal dropout most common, the most serious tape. The type of the tape error with the temporary sharp of the drop of the 50% more the signal strength of the cup of the end, either contaminants of the magnetic tape of the missing with the oxide coating part of the tape to do the recording playback with the oxide particle with the tape that can flake off and the stick of the recorder's guide with the roller and heads after collecting a while with the oxide deposit with the now oxide lumps resolution stick of the magnetic tape with the tape of the lumps with the pass over the head with the lumps get in between the tape of the head with the lift tape away from the head that causes the single dropout. Although the oxide lumps must single dropout, remember that any of the contaminants of the dust and lean or the gaps between the tape of the head would kick off the single dropout. The noise errors are unwanted signal that appear, but the noise signal should appear, but they usually cause by cut and scratch magnetic tape. The lack of the oxide particle with the cut with the scratch with the cut with the noise errors. Screw errors are only occur with the multi-track magnetic tape recorder. The screw describes at the time the difference of the curve between the individual track signal magnetic tape with the multi-track tape isn't properly aligned with the magnetic tape. There are two types of screw error: fixed and dynamic. The fixed skew happens when they're properly aligned with the magnetic tape that must pass them properly with the aligned magnetic tape. Magnetic tape. The dynamic screw happens with a misaligned tape. The problem passes properly aligned in the head. This type of the screw is usually covered with one or more of the following: misaligned, worn out tape, the transport system, a stretch or warped magnetic tape, a magnetic tape that is improperly wound or real level error of the magnetic error of the manufacturer to have the specified output of the left of the line. Some degree of the error, degree of the error, the level of the errors happen to actual output of the signal level to either drop or rise to the level outside of the expected range. For example, the magnetic tape recorder at rated volt or plus or minus 10% of any output signal below the 9 volts or above 11 volts over the level error. The level errors are called the uneven oxide coating on the magnetic tape. This comes from either the original manufacturer process or the normal wear and tear. Some of the causes of the level errors permanent cannot be removed by any of the means. For example, crease in the tape, the hole of the oxide damage head. For the other cause of level error, removable may be cleaned off the tape. For example, oxide flakes, clumps, and medical particles are removable. Alright, causes of the type of failure with the tape. Failure happens with the to the point where there's no longer usable exact point, but the failure curve of the area will vary depending on the type of the tape and how it's used. The main causes of the tape failure, the normal wear, causes accidental damage, environmental damage, and winning errors. Normal wear. Normal wear occurs because of the tape of the contact with the fixed surface of the recording magnetic head roller guides over the time of the repeated contact with the fixed surface causes the excess of the dropouts to make the tape unusable. Accidental damage. Accidental type of damage of the cover, the type of the tape failure is any of the damage that won't normally occur with the ideal operating conditions. It can be caused by either human operator with the tape recorder with itself or the accidental tape of the damage for the cause by the human operators can range for the accidental dropping of the reel of the magnetic tape improperly threading a magnetic tape recorder. Accidental tape of the damage caused by the recording equipment can occur with the recorder properly designed with the tape transport mechanism adjusted properly. With environmental damage, the negative effect with the environmental stream with the tape of the cotton caused by the tape failure with the magnetic tape failure flow can use the wide range from designed for you for the temperature range about 2 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit and the relative limit humidity range of 10 to 95% with core with the numbers of extremely with the ideal magnetic tape that should be stored at a temperature of 60 to 80 degrees from room temperature and relatively humidity about 40 to 60%. Large change for the large change from the ideal relatively humidity cover the tape with the expanded contract with less effect with the uniformity tape with the oxide coating high relatively humidity cover the tape with the stretch with increased with the tape friction with the increased friction cover the head wear the head with the particles head to the tape sticking low relative humidity and shielding and building up on the tape surface that can cover the tape to collect airborne contaminants. The efficacy with the ideal temperature humidity range described above can cover the following environmental damage to the tape deformation, oxide shedding head to the tape, sticking layer, sticking dirt build up, and excessive tape and headwear, tape form or deformation. Our magnetic tapes wound on one tape of the reel with a tension level, the tension cover with a great layer to layer pressure within the reel pack with change of the temperature and humidity can cover the backing of the materials expand contract creating even more pressure. All of this pressure cover the tape that become deformed or warped. Oxide shedding, the temperature of above 130 degrees Fahrenheit, the tape oxide coating tends to become soft. The temperature below 2 degrees Fahrenheit, the oxide tends to become brittle. In most cases, the oxide coating will shed, flake off, otherwise become so with the base material with the free pieces over the oxide, then will stick as part of the tape to transport the magnetic heads back onto the tape to cover the dropout level layers. Head and tape sticking. The high temperature for the tape lining with the glue is softer than at this point where it will stick. The recorder's magnetic head with the head of the tape sticking cover the dirty tape motion layer. Layer adhesion, real magnetic tape stored high temperature of the tape liner glue may melt when the cover the layers due to tape that sticks to one another and various causes of the layer to layer adhesion can separate with the oxide coating of the base material completely destroy the tape. Dirt and build up ends with the happens with the relatively humidity level as 10% of the low humidity cover the static electricity cracks certain dust of the build of the magnetic tape and other parts of the magnetic tape recorder. Such a tape wear with the relatively humidity more than 90% of the high humidity cause the increased friction of the edge of the tape passes over the head and turn called the excess of the tape and head wear. But winding errors are no cover the tape wherever they happen with improper winding prep of the cover except for the uneven form of the tape with being wound on the tape or able to form tape with the tip of the wound on the reel replace the tape pack with the winding air with cover the deformed tape pack will prevent the good head to tape contact with the cave with the deformed tape pack can be fixed simply with rewinding into another reel at the proper temperature for the right temperature for the mid the foremost common of the tape pack and the formation are kinching, pack slipping and spoking, and windowing. Kinching happens when the tape reel is stopped quickly, suddenly stop with the cover of the outer layer of the magnetic tape to continue spin. The inner layers happen to stop with the cover of the loose of the wound tape of the back, the unwinded and pile up. The figure 2 show with the example of the kinch shape of the pack. Note the complete fold over the one tape strand. With the example of the kinch shape pack slip happens with the tape is loosely wound reel exposed with the vibration too much heat with the cover. The tip of the ship side causing the shift in the tape pack when the tape reel back slip is used with the magnetic tape will be unwind unevenly rubbed again with the side of the tape with the reel record tape size guy with the damage of the magnetic type of the oxide shedding with the figure 2 show the example slip. Spoking happens where the magnetic tape is wound by the tape of the reel with extension creating toward the end of the winding the high tension from the outside of the tape that cover the inner pack with the bulk of the deform the spoke and cover the uneven pressure created with the tape of the winding of the reel have been sorted up when the tape is wound over the small part of the top of the hub the figure 2-4 show with the spoke tape pipe spoke tape pack. Windows are avoid self through air gap the tape winding with that half of the magnetic tape is loosely wound when the tape of the especially loose wound reel is later exposed with extremely heat figure 2-5 of the window tape packing. Window checking in the in the pack. Tape reels and cartridge. There are two magnetic tape carrier with the tape reels and tape cartridge for both types. You can use the analog digital recording tape cartridge for the normally the only digital recording. Reel used on magnetic recorders, usually manually load the tape supply reel with the take up the reel. The real purpose of the take of the magnetic tape from the examination can be made with plastic medical reel have the two parts of the hub and flange. Tape reel the design of the whole magnetic tape of the hub without magnetic tape type of the flange. The contrary part of the flange not designed to guide the magnetic tape reel. Tape cartridges hold the spool of the magnetic tape in the same way with the tape reels, except the inside of the cartridge contains both the supply reel and the take up reel. Most commonly made loaded into the recorder. You insert the tape cartridge into the recorder, automatically loaded and ready to use. Figure 2.6 with two typical type cartridges. Tape erasing and degaussing. And one advantage of the magnetic tape that you erase with the previously recorded on the same tape at the game. They erase is done by the demagnetizing the tape. You demagnetize the tape with a gradual decreasing AC current magnetic field. But there are two ways to do this. One, erase the head of the mounted magnetic recorder, or two, separate the tape degausser. Erase the magnetic recorder, erase the heads of the magnetic tape battery with the AC signal higher than the frequency range recorder itself. The method of erasing the tape works well, but in some cases not best the way because slow tape must run through the recorder to be erased. If the erase head is not completely demagnetized, it may not do complete erasure. Some recorders do not have the eraser heads installed. Magnetic tape degausser by that's why the erasing tape is a separate magnetic tape degausser. There are two types of degaussers: automatic and manual. Automatic tape degausser with the automatic tape degausser. It's the tape by its automatic move of the whole tape of the reel with slowly steadying now with the end and intent of the AC magnetic field of the tape of the tape of the degausser erase the tape very well. Some of the automatic gaussers are made specifically with the tape reels, and so are made with both of the tape of the reel of the tape of the cartridge. Figure 2.7 show with a typical automatic degausser. Manual type degausser. Manual automatic type degausser. The same electronic tape over the main version, much more portable and much less expensive. Figure 2.3 with a show with its manual degausser. The eraser tape taped with the magnetic degausser plate with the tape of the reel and the cartridge to be erased with a flat surface. The hold of the degausser very close with the magnetic tape to turn it on. Slowly tape the degausser and circle and tape the reel with the cartridge within a few seconds. Slowly move it away until about the 12-14 inches away from the tape of the reel. The tape of the cartridge. Turn off the degausser. Handling and storage and packing the magnetic tape. Today's magnetic tape coating can be recorded and simply record signals for years. The data recorded is the permanent record that wouldn't be found waking age. It remains unchanged until it's altered by another magnetic field until the tape coating deteriorates. When magnetic tape record with a return with a cover, they usually poor handled and proper store with shipping damage. If you want to tape the recording for the last long time, you need to know how to properly handle and store the shipping magnetic tape. And handling magnetic tape. Magnetic tape reel cards of the show should always be in one of the two plates for the either mount on the tape of the recorder within the storage contained with the handheld magnetic tape file with these rules. Do use extreme care with the handling magnetic tape. Careless handling may damage the magnetic tape. The tape of reel tape cartridge. Also, always hold the tape of the reel by the thumb. Never use the flange. Never the hold handle touch or tape surface. Do not let the magnetic tape of the trail on the floor, even though the end of it may not have the data over them. Pick up the dirt and the dust of the ends of the recorder. Do not clean your hands before handling. Do clean your hands before handling magnetic tape. You contaminate the magnetic tape with the dirt and oil from the dirt of the hands. Do mount the tape reel of the cartridge properly. Probably see the tape. Reels can cause the necessary wear and tear of the magnetic tape. Do you replace with any warp? Take up the reel of the damaged magnetic tape. Do you keep the magnetic recorder and take up the clean reel? Cleaning the tape can pick up the dirt and dust from the recorder itself. Do not use the type of use the top of the magnetic recorder as work area that connects with the magnetic tape to the dirt and excessive heat with the share of the magnetic field. Do not allow eating and drinking, smoking with magnetic tape device are exposed. Storing magnetic tape. Most magnetic tape reels and they spend a lot of time in the storage frame. The pick of the storage tape. The physical damage is damage effect with contamination temperature for the humidity extremely. If you do not damage the tape with the itself with the oxidation shield with layer sticking, deformation can happen with the tape with the magnetic type of damage and storage valve. Of these rules do make sure the magnetic tape is run properly onto the reel hub. The proper attention to do always over the tape reel. Do not leave them on the side. Do maintain properly environmental. Keep storage as clean, air clean from 60 to 80 degrees and temperature with a 40 to 60% relative humidity. Do not store magnetic tapes near any of the equipment generated with the stray of the magnetic field. Do not handle all the tape reel with the cartridge as gently as possible. Do not eat and drink or smoke with magnetic tape on storage area. Alright, packing magnetic tape for shipping. There may be time when you are asked to pack magnetic tape reel with the tape cartridges for shipment. If you want to arrive in good condition, you must wait. Pack it properly, protect it from the damage of the package. You must protect with the tape, the reel of the cartridge, impact, vibration, temperature. They change their. They also have some simple rules to follow. Do always pack the tape reel for their support. I hope to prevent any of the pressure on the reel flame to make fix the flanges. The tape pack with figure 2.9 for the shipping. But board tape reel in the hub. Do always reel band. Do always use the reel bands available. The reel bands are for the replacement around with the outside. If the reel flange for the help to prevent the flange from flexing damage with the tape. Do always ship the magnetic tube release in container designed for the normal position, but the real vertical position prevent the tape pack with the shipping damage for the edge of the magnetic tape. Do always pack for the tape with the cartridges in there. Shipping tape the cartridge is more durable than tape reel, and they still need to protect it during shipment. Alright, Chapter 2 Summary.